Hi everyone, welcome to my next video. I wanted to preface this next topic by saying that I don't blame anyone for anything throughout my life, no matter what they've done to me, with me, whatever. And I'm going to explain that in a moment. I do not blame my parents for being abusive towards me. I don't blame my brother for being abusive towards me, or my other brother for ignoring me. I don't blame my teachers for ignoring me or helping me. I don't blame anyone at previous jobs where I never fit in. And I don't blame either one of my ex-husbands either. Now, why is that? There's a two-part answer to this. And there are people that may be coming by on the trail. So I'm going to talk over them if Sheppy and Maggie start barking. So I thought I was alone, but it's such a beautiful day. Apparently there are other people out hiking. I'm going to start with my mom. Now, even as a little girl, despite how badly I was treated, I always saw myself stronger than her. In a way, I was a victim because I was a child. There was no escape for me. I had to be under her care, and I had to remain subjected to her abuse until I was old enough to leave, which I did. But I always saw my mother as a weak, confused woman who, for whatever reason, was struggling in her own mind, maybe not trying to do the best she could, but just being herself. And I hope that makes sense. And I knew, even as a tiny kid, that she did not understand emotions. And I saw that as a very sad thing, not something to blame her for. But I never told her that, because I could never have an honest conversation with her. Because every time I tried, she would erupt with rage and scream and yell and tell me that I didn't know how to use my head, I didn't know anything about anything, and who the hell did I think I was? So I learned early on not to confront her or to even try. Although I did as an adult, which never led to any sort of benefit whatsoever. I don't blame my ex-husbands for their treatment of me. Why? Because they're narcissists. They don't have the ability to self-reflect. They don't have the ability to realize their own weakness. Yet, even though I did not understand it then, because I was subjected to their wrath and their psychological twisted thinking and their constant put-downs of me, well, I eventually came to clarity and understanding. And that to me is worth its weight in gold. And I wrote about that in I See the Elephant. And I am very sure that they continue to blame me for all of the things that went wrong in our marriage. And this may shock you, but I don't care. Because that's what narcissists do. They find blame to alleviate their own responsibility. Sheppy, stop. And to avoid accountability. And to avoid taking ownership of anything that they did wrong. Now, wrong or right, that's another topic, because abuse is wrong, regardless of whether it's a parent or a child. And each situation is different. Each parenting situation is different. And we're all different as human beings. Now, right or wrong can be even a perception. Because apparently, my daughter has decided that things about me that she dislikes are wrong. However, in my view, I did the best I could. So there you go. Right or wrong, I don't know. It's a perception. And that's okay with me too. Because she is her own person and I am mine. And now being estranged, I think, is what's best for both of us. Because I will no longer tolerate abusive behavior. And she no longer chooses to tolerate what she thinks is wrong behavior on my part. Now, I will take accountability for anything that she perceives as wrong. And I tried for over 10 years to discuss that with her. Yet I was met with silence. I was met with a refusal to want to have that honest conversation. And after 10 years and a final insult from her, I'm done. And I'm going to enjoy the rest of my life, which I am now. So to all of you who think blame has any value, it doesn't have any value at all. It does nothing. But if we can take accountability for ourselves and forgive ourselves for those things, because we all do things wrong, and we will all continue to do things that other people will consider to be wrong. Well, so what? We can work together to resolve them, or we can continue to blame each other. And if we continue to blame each other, nothing will ever change. Hatred and anger will continue, and this behavior will be taught to the new generation, which I'm quite sure is happening now. Now, this video is supposed to be about narcissism, and this person had excellent questions, and I'm going to try to address them all in the remaining time I have left. And one of the questions was, do I think my daughter saw, from my mother not being in my life for 10 years, do I think that normalized her behavior to estrange herself from me? I do not, and I'm going to share a few things that I have not shared yet. These people are absolutely yelling down the trail, so I hope it doesn't mess up my video. I think they're on the phone. But I'm going to keep going. So maybe the seagulls will drown her out. No, I don't think my daughter was influenced by my mother in that way. However, what's interesting is her behavior is identical to my mother. She was very, very limited interaction with my mom. She saw her once at 3 years old. I rarely talked about my mother, especially in front of my daughter. I did not say disparaging things about my mother. And I kept my mother and my issues completely separate from her childhood. Now, I believe that it's possible, but I think the genetic factors play a bigger role, because even her refusal to discuss matters, her quick responses to disparage me, to put me down, are very much like my mother and her father. And lack of empathy, lack of understanding, and lack of willingness to have that honest conversation is identical to my mother, more so than her husband. I mean, my husband, my ex-husband. And I did not divulge this, and I'm going to in my book, but I was a stepmother. When I started living with her dad, I was the mother to his young daughters, 3 and 5 years old. Now, he constantly made disparaging comments about their mother right in front of them, and also treated me very badly in front of them. Now, I did the stepmother thing the best I could, because I thought being helpful would make me feel valued. So I was the one who bought the Easter baskets, who decorated the Christmas tree, who bought the Christmas gifts and signed, "Love, Dad," because Dad couldn't be bothered to buy the gifts. I was the one who gave them baths and combed their hair and folded their clothes and sang them songs to put them to bed, because again, Dad couldn't be bothered. And I loved that for a while, until over the years when they became, I'm guessing 13, 14, their behavior started to mimic their father in terms of making disparaging comments about me, treating me badly, and treating me as though I don't even exist anymore. Nothing I did was right, nothing I did was good enough, and that was exactly how their father treated me. That was definitely learned behavior. Do I blame them? No. They were just kids, and I believe part of that is genetic also. And to this day, I do not have any connection with them at all, and I believe that my daughter's closeness with them now greatly influenced her dissatisfaction with me. And no, I'm not a victim. I think they all share the same personality traits, and so be it. If they are all enjoying life together, then that's a wonderful thing. But I do not have those personality traits of blame, of anger, of hatred, of judgment, and of criticism. That's not who I am. So in a way, being estranged from her has worked out quite well for me, and perhaps for her. For my grandchildren, I have no idea, because I'm sure they're being exposed to the very same behavior, and whatever is being said about me, if they overhear it, I'm sure that they think I'm a horrible person. Can one child inherit this narcissistic behavior? And I think I addressed that before. Yes. And what's interesting is my daughter has behaviors identical to my mother that she never even witnessed. And the behavior is so identical. The only explanation has to be genetics, because she has no way of mimicking that behavior because she never witnessed it. But the sudden shutting down whenever I tried to have a conversation is exactly the same, and the same denial, and quick to put me down in every way possible is identical. So yes, I think genetically speaking, that's even a greater factor than environmental. Now, here's the last one, and I wrote down this question. Could it be that the victim, who supposedly might be me, is just not getting back what they perceive as enough by their standards? And that is a very fascinating question, because that works both ways. And again, I talked about I'm not a victim, nor did I have any expectations from my daughter other than basic respect. And don't we all expect that from others? Because we are deserving of basic respect, especially from our adult children. And especially if you've done the best you can. And yes, there are horrible parents out there. I don't consider myself one. I consider myself a faulty parent who did the best she could. And will I be faulted for that? We'll have at it. What comes around goes around. And if she wants to judge me for that, I have never judged her for judging me. I have tried to reconcile whatever she finds fault with me, and that is a big difference. So my daughter most likely perceives my behavior was not enough for her standards. And this is an excellent way to put it, because apparently her standards are higher than what I can offer. And my answer to that is, I am being myself. I am being authentic. I'm doing the best I can. And if I wasn't good enough for you, then good luck, because I did my very best. And I don't regret doing my best. Were there things I did that I do regret? Yes. However, what happened to all those wonderful things I did? What happened to all the loving moments and the happy times? What happened to all that? Apparently, they mean nothing. So I'm not a victim. I'm not a victim because I never was a victim. And for all of you parents out there who are not getting back from your adult children what you perceive that you should, my answer is, it is what it is. Life isn't fair. Our children are going to be who they are on their own, and we can be who we are on our own. And that's certainly what I've decided to do. And let me tell you, it is such an incredible, freeing feeling. I can't even explain it. It's like those seagulls in the background. They're just hanging out, having a good time, feeling the sun on their little faces. And they're flying around, deciding wherever they want to go. And that's what I'm doing too. And I'm going to go into great detail with all of this in my book. And I'm not going to divulge the title until it's self-published. And I will be self-publishing that in the spring. I'm guessing April, May timeframe. And I'm looking forward to making it available and to any responses I get. Many of the responses will be very judgmental. I don't care. Many of the responses might be hateful. I don't care. Because judgmental people judge and hateful people hate. And I will never do either, as I never have. So the narcissism thing, I received a very interesting comment the other day, and I wasn't going to mention this, but I can't. I'm too tempted. I'm going to. And I saw it as one of those alerts, but when I went back to look for it, it was gone. So apparently, whoever left it deleted it right away. And what they said was that my ex-husband, who was the last one, has been bashing me to everyone, complaining about all the things I did wrong, what a horrible, messed up person I was, and just one complaint after the other. And my response to that is, I'm so glad I saw that comment because it made me laugh, but it also made me feel sorry for him, because that's what narcissists do. They will refuse to take accountability, and they will degrade, is that a word? Degrade the other party to no end for their own admiration. And what they don't realize is they're just making themselves look like a fool. And it makes me realize that after 30 years, this narcissist will never get it. And it's sad. And I'm glad I saw that comment, because apparently this individual is still angry, is still rageful, and still feels the need to find fault with me. And I am very concerned about the rage, because I do not want to be ever subjected to that rageful behavior again. But I will take precautions if I ever feel like that is a possibility. Because this is a person who was physically violent to me in the past, and I am well aware of what this individual is capable of. So I'm glad I saw that comment, and being aware has empowered me. So whoever wrote that and then deleted it, I saw it anyway. So thank you very much. So thank you for asking me all these narcissism questions. I'm not a therapist. I don't go around blindly calling people narcissists, but I have identified those people in my past because they are all so similar, and I have learned a lot over the years. And so I do believe I'm qualified in that sense to share what I've learned in a very helpful and hopefully inspiring way for any of you who may be dealing with similar people. Because toxic is not the word for them. Incredibly destructive and dangerous is more applicable. Please educate yourself. Please read all you can about this personality disorder. And please know that these people will never change. And they will throw you under the bus in a heartbeat. And they will have no shame, guilt, or concern at all for doing so. Because all they care about is themselves and how they are perceived by others. And some people will catch on to their game, and some people will not. But please know that is not your problem. Don't worry about what they're saying about you. The greater being knows the truth, and the greater being knows how you feel. And so with that, I hope I've answered these questions. I so love sitting here. It's such a beautiful park. And believe it or not, this woman down the trail is still on the phone. so I'm going to turn this off and go home and make some lunch. And I don't even know what that is. Some kind of duck. And maybe let Shippy go swimming. It all depends on how fast the tide is down there. And so I hope you're all having a great day. If I haven't explained anything clearly, I always do my best. But if not, please feel free to ask me whatever you like. And I hope I can continue with my channel until my hair turns completely white and I can barely walk. And I'm still living out here in the woods, hopefully. So take care, everyone. I hope you're all having a really great day.